All right, so we know Future Saga is going to be a part of the global Dokkan campaign. At the very least, probably a major part of part one. It looks like there'll be a Super Saiyan Blue type character, and then like Zamasu, Goku Black type character with Zamasu's voice and the blue and pink. You guys get the gist of it. And I'm gonna just be making a bunch of videos speculating about EZAs and Super EZAs we can see. And I started things off yesterday with the physical Vegeta Blue Super EZA, kind of like making a prediction of what he's going to be like, a concept you could say. And we're going to do the same thing with Agio Rose Goku Black. Now, this guy I'm definitely more excited for, I would say, compared to Vegeta Blue, which sounds surprising to a lot of people, but this guy was him for villains back in the day. If you are a villains lover and you weren't around for this guy, I feel bad for you, because this is one of the best times in the game's history that villains have been really good, which is actually kind of sad when you say it that way, considering this guy is like a 2017 character, actually 2016 for JP, so that's very funny. Now, when his EZA came out, I don't think he was really given justice, and being fair in general, Goku Black isn't really given too much justice as you would think. He gets a few cards over the past few years, but man, it's like Agio Rose is good on release, STR Rose was good on release, Goku Black Zamasu was good, but there's not a standalone like Goku Black card. Then okay, we eventually get a Goku Black mid, year 5 Goku Black mid. Then we get like the EZAs for these two, weren't really that crazy. Goku Black Zamasu's EZA was pretty good, and Goku Black's EZA was arguably worse than his release, which is very funny. This guy's EZA was pretty decent. Physical Rose sucked. Super EZA Goku Black, I mean, well, physical Goku Black in release was good, I would say, but it's just like, you know, he came out a month before Agio Rose, so, you know, that was a thing. That's why he was buffed in global, actually, because it's like, okay, well, they know Agio Rose is coming, so we're going to actually buff this guy so that people don't just skip him for Agio Rose, which is the whole reason behind that little buff that he has. But even then, this guy, you know, with his EZ and Super EZA weren't really crazy. I mean, I think on global his EZ was a lot better. His Super EZ was good on release, but he aids up pretty quickly just because he has no defensive mechanics. All in all, Goku Black's not really the best posts like STR Rose. Pretty much just like nothing too impressive. At most, the year 5 LR is really good for a period of time, but again, he aged up pretty quickly due to key issues, etc, etc. Now, I think Agio Rose has potential to become really good though. They just have to actually give him both start of turn and multiplicative buffs, because if we take a look here in his passive skill, he has 100% attack start of turn and then multiplicative up to 180% defense. This is a lot for a multiplicative buff, but the issue is that he doesn't have anything start of turn. So if they really give him huge like stats, I think things can get really crazy really quickly. I did also ask Twitter and YouTube what you guys would like to see from his EZA design, but we're going to take a look here at my concept first. I have Beerus up for a reason, but essentially I kind of designed this guy in a way similar to Tech Beerus, a more modernized like 2025 Super EZA Tech Beerus. This guy of course got his EZA last year, was very good for quite a while, and honestly you could still use him right now. It's just that these teams specifically aren't the craziest in the current meta, but you could say with Realm of Gods becoming really good likely very soon, this guy could potentially be a decent floater in some teams, right? He's not going to be the craziest character ever, but he could probably float around and be just fine as a support character. So I guess we could see with what this guy will be able to do in the future. But again, I also based him around like STR Rose, and of course keeping the general idea of this guy being a support character is what I went for. Again, at the end of the day, I still made him really good, so you know, why not? I think these guys will be handled with care, but they could, I mean, I say that, but his EZA initially wasn't the craziest, especially compared to physical Vegeta Blue, but still, I think they should hopefully do this guy some justice. I would really like to see that. So again, we know his super attack effect won't change. Actually, I didn't change this. So I copy pasted the super attack effect or the whole kit kind of concept from Vegeta Blue and changed everything. So I actually need to change this. And this is not okay. You know, it is what it is. I need to change this to Ariel, and then this is 13. And I also messed this up. You know what? Give me 1 second. Okay, I changed the back. Greatly raises defense for the turn, immense damage, great lowers defense. This is not going to change on a Super Easy A, we already know that. Basic effects, 250% attack and defense, start of turn, which is a very big jump. And honestly, a lot of characters usually get just 200%. But I think this guy getting 250% would be pretty good still. Again, there's not really many characters I could think of that would start off with 250%. Like, you know, I guess Yamcha starts off with like 400%, will build up and lose those stats eventually, right? Kefla does start off with 200%, I believe, as well, but she gets this really huge boost. I think 250% is just a nice extra number for this guy, because why not, right? Launches an additional super attack guaranteed. 60% damage reduction on guard again. This is kind of just me looking at Tech Beers and being like, yeah, we'll give him this for free. Right? No HP restrictions. Superclass enemies attack and defense minus 30%. Now, we've seen many Goku Blacks, especially Rose Goku Blacks, have some sort of debuff in their passive. So I could really see like a Goku Black card getting this, and it would actually be really good for battle hardened foes, having like a 30% attack and defense debuff. So that's why I gave him that ability. Then Extreme Class Allies key 3 and 40% attack and defense. This easy, he does have 3 key and 30% attack. I just added defense and made it 40%, right? Since he already has a support buff, make him just like a really good general support here. And again, these are all just his basic effects, just like things he's gonna always do. And then we keep a look here. When attacking, he gets 100% attack and then a 70% chance to perform a critical hit. Now, again, that's very basic and simple. For every attack received, he gets 50% attack and defense up to 250%, right? So it's like double 250% here, which is, again, a huge thing. But like, unlike a lot of these other characters, this guy is not like a potential stacker and things like this, right? So he also only has like the 60% reduction plus guard, which I say only, like it's like not a really good still. But I think, you know, he doesn't have like any dodge. He doesn't have like some other certain defensive abilities besides that guard and damage reduction, which again, really good. But I think, you know, I took a look at the stats there, and I think this would be fair, like 250% and 250% here. Of course, he has his support too, but with the math said and done, he's able to basically tank any super in the game pre-super in a slot 1 format, which I think is kind of the idea, because if this guy's floating around in slot 3, there's bosses that will be able to lock him in slot 1. But I think also having the option to have this character as a slot 1 option, especially on these villain teams, is just going to be so huge. Like, let's take a look here. What extreme could I actually soar? In fact, I think it'll be better if I go ahead and do this. Like, what extreme class character is out right now that I'm like, yeah, they're a slot 1 god right now? Like, let's take a look here. Frieza eventually can exchange into, in fact, we'll start by release date, easy A. Let's keep looking here. I mean, Ginyu could become one, but he needs Ginyu Force. This guy needs Ginyu Force. This guy could, but he doesn't need mission execution specifically, so that could be an issue, right? Hit, not really. Janemba could end up being one. I think Cell can, but he needs to get to survive. He wants another Cell character. Great Vegeta ideally has I think he actually does just have the guard and the 60% damage reduction, if I'm not mistaken here, as the first slot, but his link set isn't really that great with a lot of other villains. Like Frieza could for a little bit, but you see there's not that many options going on right now. So I think getting like a definitive another slot 1 character, especially for like a Goku Blacks and Masa team, would be really huge, just in case you might need one, right? Then extreme class allies, 3% attack and defense for 2 turns. So this is that's something I'm just like kind of looking at, like, okay, well, he obviously gets stronger with each attack he receives. That's just a Goku Black kind of thing. Supporting extreme class, right? Debuffing super class enemies, like all these are like Goku Black kind of things to have. This 2-turn support, I think so many characters give multiple turn support now. And again, we see a lot of super easy A's just give support in general. So I was thinking, okay, what could they do to make this guy stand out as a supportive type character and make him really like, yeah, this is a support, more tanky character, and damage would probably be the third thing that he's worried about. And that's where I'm like, yeah, you know, give him 3% attack and defense support for 2 turns. This would actually also be multiplicative. It'd be a very nasty buff, and it just depends on the attack you receive. So I mean, even if he takes just 5 attacks, that is 15% multiplicative stats to the next rotation. That can matter, right? That can really help out in a lot of different situations. So it's not the craziest thing, but I think this could be just very potent, right? And it kind of has you keep him on rotation, like it's an incentive for keeping him on the turn. And even then, like the next turn will still get it, even if he's a floater. It just might not be as common to get all these attacks. So there you go. Now, when there's another extreme class ally or future saga category ally attacking in the same turn, very easy to get for this character. Randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres. Rainbow orb changing is very important. And again, if we just take a look here, I should have kept this specific one up. Like rainbow orb changers for extreme class, I also feel are not the most common thing of all time. Right, I mean, Tao doesn't rainbow orb change, Tien does, right? But if we go past Tien here, there's not really like a rainbow orb changer. Tech Cell does rainbow orb change, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, yeah, I believe Tech Cell rainbow orb changes, does he not? I don't remember at the top of my head. Yeah, rainbow orb changer right here with Tech Cell, which is really good, but getting another rainbow orb changer would be nice. Buhan does actually create his own int key spheres, but I don't recall at the top of my head if Buhan makes rainbow key spheres. He does, actually. Okay, whew, yeah, Buhan and Cell, very good. But besides those two, we could definitely use more, I think, for sure. So it would be nice just to get another orb changing right there character. And again, there's the concept here. 30% chance to perform a critical hit, so he's just doing guaranteed crits. Just like let him do some pretty decent damage. He has one additional super, like he could triple super in the turn. It's not going to be anything too crazy, but this guy has the potential to just be very strong defensively, and just provide a lot of support to the team and just be a consistent character is what I was really going for, rather than like, you know, like Vegeta Blue, where I feel like it's like he could look really good, sometimes he could look just decent, but like if you get the RNG right, Vegeta Blue is a character that's like, oh my goodness, he's insane. Rose is a character that I think he needs to be a consistent, all-around good character. Rose always in the past, especially with like SJR Rose, thing I really liked about this guy, besides the final blow, like if we take a look pre-ZA, like he was doing a lot. Like he provided support here, he provided support here, he debuffed, he did decent damage, he led all extreme class, he had a really good link set to kind of bridge things together. And keep in mind, this is like Super Battle Road 2017 era, right? Obviously he came out April 2018 on global, but this is where like Super Battle Road was really prominent, and he did a lot before all these like crazy mechanics. This guy released pre-active skill on JP, right? So that's why I'm like, yeah, I think having this guy be a character where it's like, yeah, he's actually a like all around jack of all trades kind of card would be ideal to me, and that's where I kind of really lined up with like a Tech Beers type of design, but just better. So yeah, and again, his link set is really, really good for villains, even like big bad bosses, Nightmare, Fear and Faith. He has support, like things can be really good. You could just plop him in on so many different of these potential setups, right? I mean, Worldwide Chaos can get a setup in the future. Actually, there's not really any other setups right now that are available, being fair, but that Goku Black kind of team will hopefully end up being really good really soon. So we can take a look at some of the replies and just see what people are thinking about for Goku Black specifically. So we'll actually take a look at YouTube first as well, just because I think YouTube has less responses here. We do have 21 responses. Getting stronger every time he's being. You think he should get a KO, survive, and a full recover. Oh, so like STR Super Saiyan Goku, actually. I think that would be pretty cool, where he has like a survive KO mechanic. I would like that. It would be interesting to see if they nerf his overall defensive abilities from having an ability like that. Where is this guy? There he is right here. Like if they would do that, but this ability could be really cool, where it's like, okay, if HP is 20% or less when he receives an attack, he has the guaranteed dodge, he gets these extra stats potentially, and then he recovers your HP. I think that could be really nice, especially if we get imagine like a Tech Fusion Zamasu EZA, and it's like, okay, well, I could recover 66% HP like later on in the fight, and then skip the turn or something like that, or like at the end of the turn you could just recover the HP, and then next turn Tech Fusion Zamasu is at a point where he is able to use his active skill and then become invincible Fusion Zamasu, right? I think that could be really cool. The Sky Zamasu, right? That could be a really cool, interesting idea. 50% reduction guard, 30% attack and defense at 200%, then key 3 and 60% stats. That'd be good too. God tier slot 2 supports. Guard, 70% reduction, 300% stats. You know, he could give 2-turn support here. Like, this could be 2 turns. I could very easily see that. It could be like the opposite of AGO Blue Cow Ken, where it's like he gives the support, and then if it's against a super class character, it becomes a 2-turn support ability. We have seen that from this AGO Blue Cow Ken Goku. He's literally exactly as I described here. That could be really cool. Could be interesting, right? Let's see. Honestly, it gets given a strong defensive mechanics, guard and high damage reduction, 60% support, add defense to it. If you really want to go crazy, make him 2-turn support. Villain needs all the help they can get. Yep. Can only dodge after super attacking. Well, this guy doesn't have dodge at all, so would design it to be good. Yeah, I would assume so. Okay, so this is another concept. We can read it here. Key 2, 200% stats. Extreme class allies, key 3 and 60% attack. 100% damage reduction. After receiving an attack as the first attacker, all allies key 3, key 2 and 100% defense, and then launches an additional super attack for 3 turns. As the second or third attacker in the turn, 200% attack and then high chance to evade enemy's attack after attacking, 100% defense, and then launches an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super for 5 turns. For every attack received, 50% attack and defense up to 300%, then 5% reduction lost, no more than 30%. So he would have the 100% reduction start of turn, then he will go down to 70%, but build up these massive stats here. Then after receiving a certain amount of attacks, he gets 20% crit here after 1 attack. After 6 attacks, he gets guard and then a 30% crit. Then after guarding 5 times in battle, he gets chance performing a crit 50%, 2 additional supers, and then 200% attack and defense when attacking. This would be absurdly busted. Absurdly busted. Big fan of Techies Janem and US Tien. Loves to see some kind of fusion between those 2 characters. And I could see where it's like you have the Janemba, like I think right here. Well, this right here is like kind of like Tien. And then I could see like where, I guess, Tech Janemba, I'm not really seeing too much in this concept at an initial glance. I guess that's the high damage reduction that he loses eventually. That's what it is, yeah. Okay. That would be pretty cool though. That'd be very good. The reason why you made him somewhat broken is he's meant to be run with others and monsters. So another concept here, okay. And after this, we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the Twitter comments here. So 200% attack and defense, 2 additionals with 30% chance. Don't like to see that. 30% dodge, then extreme class allies key 3 and 50%. For every attack received or evaded, 50% attack and defense up to 200%, and then 10% reduction up to 50%. For every attack performed, 10% attack and defense up to 200%, then 5% dodge up to 20% extra dodge. So that would become 50% dodge. If there's a Zamasu on the team, he guards, gets an additional super, gives extra support to extreme class and Realm of Gods. Okay. If he's in slot 1, 200% defense before receiving an attack. Guard, so he will guard regardless. And after receiving an attack, 50% dodge chance. You're giving him 100% dodge. Heal 5% HP per attack received at the end of the turn. I'm not sure if they would give him this. High chance to dodge, slot 3. Yeah, you're just giving him guaranteed dodge. I don't think they would do that, honestly. Being able to age like mine. Like, I get it, because he's kind of meant to be run with just a Fools and Mouse team, so him being able to age really well would be really nice, but I don't see them giving him guaranteed dodge like that, fortunately, so All right, let's take a look at some of the Twitter replies here. Any quotes potentially? Yeah, fuck the damage. Make this guy unkillable with healing, damage reduction, or guard. Then an uber support for tag Rose and Zamasu. Defense supports. Big per guard and damage and dodge. Okay. Ultimate super bosses. Yeah, super bosses in 2025. Yeah. This card art makes me happy. It's really good. Guaranteed dodge against blast supers against super class enemies. Yeah, starter turn defense would be huge. The reason why this guy wasn't that great on the ZZA is because he had no starter turn defense. I talked about that earlier, but starter turn defense would be crazy for this guy. Defense to his support make him build up way quicker. Yeah, because his old build up. How many attacks was this that he had to receive? 6? I think that's 6 attacks. So make it a lot quicker would be nice. I mean, my concept is 5 attacks. Being fair, events now are way shorter, or not shorter, way longer than they used to be. Another concept here, 250% attack and defense, guard, extreme class allies key 3 and 30% stats, survives KO attacks once within a turn, launches an additional super. For 7 turns from characters enter turn, extreme class allies get another 30% attack and defense, 300% attack when attacking. It's quite a lot, but I could see that. 200% defense when receiving an attack. That's a generally good ability. Then for every attack received, 40% attack and defense up to 200%, 10% reduction up to 50%, and then chance to crit 10% up to 50%. I'm not really a fan of building up damage reduction rate up to 50%, but everything else looks good to me. I do like that. Guard, damage reduction, multi-turn support, no final blow. Yeah, pretty much what I agree with. Wait another year. 100% reduction and 3 billion % attack. Unfortunately, I don't think they would do that. Yeah, guard plus 70% reduction, defense when hit by a super. About massive attack stats, unconditional support to other Goku Black, and then Rainbow Orb changing. Yeah, Rainbow Orb changing, I think it's something that not many people are mentioning. I think Rainbow Orb changing would be really nice for this Goku Black Zamasu team. I think it could be really nice. With your wee out, huge and dangling at the thought of it. Wow, that's nice. Extreme class damage reduction supports. That would be really good, actually. Imagine, like, extreme class Realm of Gods get like 10% damage reduction. Like, if we take a look here at, I wonder, I guess, like, okay, Realm of Gods, like extreme class Realm of Gods. Imagine them getting like 10% damage reduction. Then you get like Fusion Zamasu, like the tech Fusion Zamasu has, what, 90% reduction turn 1, right? Because he starts off with the 80% here. Then you would have AGL. Actually, AGL Zamasu. Let me bring up a few of these extreme class characters. I'm taking a look here. Well, like, this guy wouldn't be that crazy. AGL Zamasu, actually, because he has how much? 50% reduction, right? 50%, give him 60% plus his defensive stacking, plus all the support that could be going on. Maybe he becomes pretty decent. He does stack attack too. I mean, I could see this guy being like a festival option, funny enough. In a situation like that. Obviously, H or Rose wouldn't be able to really do too much for that, but yeah. Even this guy, dude. This is so brutal. It would work on a full Zamasu Goku Black team, though. Okay. You know, Int Fusion Zamasu has 20% reduction, right? Imagine this becomes like 50%, dude. This guy, we'll talk about this guy in another video, but Int Fusion Zamasu could be really crazy. Yeah, I think that would work. That would work like extreme class Realm of Gods, honestly. I'm not sure if it would be extreme class only. If it's only extreme class, that would be insane. I think they would only do an ability like this with the new Goku Black Zamasu. Extreme class needs a more splashable piece in their arsenal. You can throw everywhere, stop restricting that class that has a lower character pool to begin with. I agree. 50 attacks to build up, but once he's built up, he's a bit better than Esther Rose. They might actually like do some stupid things like this, but yeah. 66% reduction, key through to extreme class on hits, 20% support for 2 turns on receiving an attack as first slot, guards in the first slot, additional super if second or third, High chance to create built up attacking. Additional super plus 66% stats on final blow. No final blow, please. I just wouldn't. I just do not want a final blow. You know he's getting one we have in blue Vegeta that hasn't been revised in years. Well, did he not come out before that blue Vegeta? I'm pretty sure he came out before, right? Maybe I'm misremembering. In fact, let's go again and buy. Yeah, we do have release day here. It would have to go like really weird into here, but if I check it, it should be right. Yeah, there's blue Vegeta. Then yeah, blue Vegeta came out after Fusion Zamasu. He was the last character before, and Aziz A came out on March 10th, 2020. I believe Aziz A also was before even the global version Aziz A. Yeah, June 9th, 2020. Then this is May 20th. Yeah, Blue Vegeta's EZA and initial release came out before. Well, his EZA came out before Goku Black, but his release was on January 13th. Actually, really crazy. They released a Dokkan Fest in January this year. I forgot about that. He came out like right before the anniversary, dude. Because these guys came out January 31st. Yeah, that's funny. But this guy was exciting. He was actually pretty good on his release too. Oh, that blue Vegeta. So give us the first Broken Rose. Would not be the first one, but yeah. So I think that's pretty good from here. Yeah, we've read a few concepts. We kind of talked about what this guy could do, what he might be good at, etc., etc. Really, he just needs to be a very strong supporting option. I think a consistent supporting option, multi-turn support. Healing would be cool, but like Rainbow Orb changing would be really nice, I think. I don't really think we need healing, honestly. Especially because we have so much HP now ourselves, and I think that a lot of these other Zamasu characters will provide healing, so I'm not really sure this Goku Black needs to worry about that. I think what we need for him to do is to help the team out in a massive way and make sure the team is very consistent, which is again why I gave them orb changing, multi-turn support, slot 1 viability, can basically do whatever role you want him to, very flexible. So thanks all for watching. Hopefully this guy will be really good, and I'll catch you guys next time.